Learn English to Gujarati. To be allowed to, may and past permission with.
મંજૂરી હોવી.
Welcome to the Permission Palace. Hey, you are about to learn some super useful Gujarati through a very serious academic method called laughing at a confused guard. Ready? Welcome to the Permission Palace, where every door has opinions and every cat thinks it runs the building. Today your main magic phrase is
મંજૂરી હોવી.
which means to be allowed to, may. Imagine a golden gate. You ask politely, may I enter? And the gate answers with dramatic importance.
શું મને પ્રશ્ન પૂછવાની મંજૂરી છે?
That means, may I ask a question? In this palace, grammar is not dry. Grammar is wearing a cape. Your core phrase. Let's plant the main phrase firmly in your brain before it tries to escape. Say it with me slowly. The basic English idea is to be allowed to, may. In Gujarati, say,
મંજૂરી હોવી.
you may enter now. In Gujarati,
હવે તમને અંદર જવાની મંજૂરી છે.
children are not allowed to drive. In Gujarati,
બાળકોને ગાડી ચલાવવાની મંજૂરી નથી.
may I ask a question? In Gujarati,
શું મને પ્રશ્ન પૂછવાની મંજૂરી છે?
tiny memory trick.
મંજૂરી.
Feels like permission, like a green traffic light for your actions. Green means go. Red means the guard is still drinking tea. Past permission parade. Now let's meet the past forms, one by one, like honored guests at a very organized parade. I was allowed to.
મને પરવાનગી હતી.
You dared.
તું હિંમત કરી હતી.
Was allowed to, for him.
તેને મંજૂરી હતી.
She was allowed to.
તેને પરવાનગી હતી.
Was allowed to, general past permission.
મંજૂરી હતી.
We were allowed to.
અમને મંજૂરી હતી.
You were allowed to.
તમને મંજૂરી હતી.
They were allowed to.
તેઓને કરવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
Yes, some of these look similar. Gujarati is helping you by repeating the permission idea. It is like saying, relax, I brought extra clues. A funny story at the library door. Time for a mini story. Listen for the permission phrases and picture the scene like a cartoon. A child stands outside a library that looks so quiet even the dust is whispering. The child wants to go in, but the guard is dramatic. He points at a sign and says,
મંજૂરી હોવી.
The child nods like this is very deep philosophy. Then the librarian smiles and says,
હા, તમને મંજૂરી છે.
yesterday, the child tells a friend,
મને પરવાનગી હતી.
I was allowed to. Another friend says, but you were scared. The answer comes proudly.
તું હિંમત કરી હતી.
Even the library cat waits at the door until it gets.
મંજૂરી હોવી.
To chase the laser pointer. Very respectful cat. Suspicious, but respectful. Mini dialogue drill. Now you listen and repeat. Short lines, clear rhythm, no panic. A. May I come in? B.
હા, તમને મંજૂરી છે.
A. Yesterday, I was allowed to leave early. B.
ગઈકાલે મને વહેલું જવાની પરવાનગી હતી.
A. He was allowed to stay. B.
તેને રહેવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
A. She was allowed to speak during the meeting. B.
તેને બેઠક દરમિયાન બોલવાની પરવાનગી હતી.
A. We were allowed to speak softly in the library. B.
અમને લાઇબ્રેરીમાં ધીમે બોલવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
A. You were allowed to ask questions. B.
તમને પ્રશ્નો પૂછવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
A. They were allowed to stay there. B.
તેઓને ત્યાં રહેવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
Spot the meaning. Let's make your brain do a tiny gym session. I say the English, you think of the Gujarati. To be allowed to, may. Answer.
મંજૂરી હોવી.
I was allowed to. Answer.
મને પરવાનગી હતી.
You dared. Answer.
તું હિંમત કરી હતી.
He was allowed to. Answer.
તેને મંજૂરી હતી.
She was allowed to. Answer.
તેને પરવાનગી હતી.
We were allowed to. Answer.
અમને મંજૂરી હતી.
You were allowed to. Answer.
તમને મંજૂરી હતી.
They were allowed to. Answer.
તેઓને કરવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
Permission versus ability. This part matters because learners often mix up can and may. You are not going to fall into that trap. Not today. In English, can mean ability, but may and be allowed to are about permission. Gujarati helps here. Compare ability
શકવું.
with permission.
મંજૂરી હોવી.
If you can lift a chair, that is ability. If you may lift the chair in a museum, that is permission. So when the guard says no, your muscles do not matter. Your grammar matters. Very rude of the guard, but useful for learning. Courage joins the party. One phrase in your list is a little different. It is not about permission. It is about bravery. The phrase, you dared, is.
તું હિંમત કરી હતી.
It literally carries the idea of courage.
હિંમત.
Means courage. Example. You dared to ask the question.
તું પ્રશ્ન પૂછવાની હિંમત કરી હતી.
Even then, you dared to speak.
ત્યારે પણ તું બોલવાની હિંમત કરી હતી.
So if permission is a green light, courage is the foot that actually hits the pedal. Group scene at the gate. Let's hear the forms in one silly scene so they stick together in your memory. At the museum gate, everyone is waiting. I say.
મને પરવાનગી હતી.
I was allowed to. You say.
તમને મંજૂરી હતી.
You were allowed to. Our team cheers.
અમને મંજૂરી હતી.
We were allowed to. The guide points to one man.
તેને મંજૂરી હતી.
Then to one woman.
તેને પરવાનગી હતી.
Then to the whole visiting group.
તેઓને કરવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
And the cat? The cat needed no permission. The cat was already inside. Of course. Quick quiz challenge. No stress. This is just a fast check. If you get one wrong, congratulations, you found something to practice. What is the Gujarati for to be allowed to, may?
મંજૂરી હોવી.
What is the Gujarati for I was allowed to?
મને પરવાનગી હતી.
What is the Gujarati for you dared?
તું હિંમત કરી હતી.
What is the Gujarati for she was allowed to?
તેને પરવાનગી હતી.
What is the Gujarati for we were allowed to?
અમને મંજૂરી હતી.
What is the Gujarati for they were allowed to?
તેઓને કરવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
Friendly conclusion. You did great. Yes, even if you whispered half of it and scared your houseplant. Today you practiced permission and past permission in English and Gujarati, including
મંજૂરી હોવી. મને પરવાનગી હતી. તેને મંજૂરી હતી. તેને પરવાનગી હતી. મંજૂરી હતી. અમને મંજૂરી હતી. તમને મંજૂરી હતી.
and.
તેઓને કરવાની મંજૂરી હતી.
Thank you for learning with me. Keep practicing out loud, repeat the phrases tomorrow, and give yourself full
મંજૂરી.
to make mistakes while you improve.